Hi, welcome to the Purple Fox Kitchen. My name is Julie. Today we're going to make my version of a meatloaf that is going to knock your socks off. So let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with one rather large onion. Today I'm using a Vidalia onion. A white onion or yellow onion would work just as well. What we're going to do is cut the top and bottom off first and then cut it in half. You want to peel the skin off the onion. So when I cut my onion, I like to cut it the long way first, and then I'm going to go on the sides. Okay, now you hold it tight, and I get good dices here. And then when you get to about here, flip the onion over. So my onions are all diced up. I have my pan on high with some extra virgin olive oil in there. When it gets nice and hot, I'll add the onions, turn the heat down to medium, cook them for about 8 to 10 minutes till they're nice and translucent. So my onions are looking great. Give them a little turn. I'm going to add some salt and pepper. Got to flavor as you go, season as you go. And while those continue to cook, I'm going to chop up some fresh herbs. So here I have some parsley and I have some fresh thyme, which you just peel right off the stem. And if you get some of the stem in there from the thyme, that's very okay. It's edible. Yeah, these are great. So I'll put it in a big pile. Just chop it up. Now you see how I'm constantly moving the herbs around? You want to get them all chopped up. And then hold onto your knife on top and just rock back and forth. So while our onions are cooking, I'm going to start on the meatloaf mix. This is actually a meatloaf mix. It's a combination of beef, pork, and veal. I love the combination of all three. It has great flavor. It's not just straight up beef. And I have 2 packages here, which is about 2.5 pounds. And to this, we're going to add a 1/2 cup of breadcrumbs and 2 eggs. Now I always say the best tools in the kitchen are your hands, which they are, but I'm going to protect my hands today by wearing gloves just to give this a little mash up here. Now you don't want to like really beat up the meat mixture. The more you mix it around, the denser it'll get. So you want to try and keep it as light as possible, but still mix it really thorough. So I'm actually going to stop there because once the onion mixture is done, then we're going to add that to this, and then we're going to mix it up even more. Okay. So my onions have been cooking for about 7-8 minutes now. They're looking amazing. Now at the very end of their cooking time, I'm going to add a little garlic, and everyone knows this crushed garlic is my favorite invention ever. So I'm just going to add 1 clove of garlic. Let that melt in there for a minute or 2. So now this is cooked a couple more minutes. I think my onions are perfectly cooked, nice and translucent. I'm going to turn off the heat. And to this, I'm going to add 1/3 cup of beef stock. I am going to add 3 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. This is going to give the meatloaf so much tenderness and so much flavor. And tomato paste. I always buy my tomato paste in these tubes because sometimes when you get a can, you only need a little bit, and then you're like, I don't know what to do with this anymore. So this you can hold on to, stick it in the fridge, use it whenever you need it. So I'm going to put about 1 tablespoon in here. You can eyeball it, it's okay. It's going to make it nice and rich, give it a really nice rich flavor. Mix all that up. Okay, I just added all of my fresh herbs. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to let this mixture cool down a little bit. And then we're going to add it to our meat mixture. But we need to let it cool because there's already raw eggs in here and you don't want to scramble the eggs. So we're just going to let this cool down a little bit, maybe about 5 minutes. Once it's cool, we'll add it to the meat. Before I add the onion mixture, I'm going to add a good pinch of salt and pepper to make sure everything is nice and flavored. My onion mixture is cooled down. It's definitely still warm, but it's cooled down a little bit. It's been about 5 minutes, so I'm just going to add it right in there. You want every last drop. And again, with your best kitchen tools you got, you're going to get in there. Do your best not to overwork it too much, but make sure it's all incorporated. Now that it's all incorporated, we're going to take a sheet pan that I've lined with tin foil. And we're just going to take this out. And you're just going to mold it with your hands into a loaf. And now the best part of this meatloaf is the crust. And it's going to be just straight up ketchup. So I'm probably going to take about 1/2 cup. Put it all over the top. And this is going to make such an awesome crust. Use my spoon, spread it out. It's nothing fancy, but absolutely delicious. Let it pour down the sides. There you go. Now we're going to cook this at 350 degrees for about an hour. What we want to do is we want to get it to an internal temperature of 160 degrees. So in about 45 minutes, we'll check it. And when I do that, I will meet you back here. It's been about 50 minutes. Oh yeah, look at that. So I'm going to use my thermometer, make sure it's up to 160 degrees, which it is. Test it in a couple places. Yep. This looks amazing. Get a nice crust on the outside, this ketchup. Oh, that's what makes the meatloaf right here. So we need to let this cool a little bit, and then we're going to dig in. Okay, so this has been cooling for about 5 minutes. I can't wait to dig in. Oh my gosh. This looks amazing. It is so tender. There's so much flavor. The crust is everything. There's so much flavor in this meatloaf. You can taste the herbs, the onions, the beef stock gives it this really rich flavor. It's juicy. You're gonna wanna make this over and over again. Even your finicky kids are gonna love it, I promise. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to follow me on my YouTube channel, The Purple Fox Kitchen. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.